Well, going into Let's Talk Advanced Chemistry, like Chemistry 2 with Pastor Dan, let's take a look at this problem right here, the balancing equation. Now, if you haven't tried it, pause it, and then what I'll do is I'll give you the answers and show you how we got what we got. All right? Because that was in the last practice at the end. It's a really fun one. It's one I like the most. All right. Ready? Here we go. So we start with iron. Iron has an oxidation number of +2. It's one of the ones that we don't know the oxidation numbers. From +2 to +3 over here. Then for manganese, because it's part of polyatomic, break it all apart. -2, -8, +1, so that's +7. There's only one of them, so it's +7. Sulfate. We don't break sulfate apart. We keep it all together because there's no reason to. I don't care about S or O as a unit. SO4, -2. So -2 +2, so 7 to 2. That's one. Now let's check our third step. Do I have one iron? Yes. Do I have one iron? No. So first we got to put a 2 here and multiply by 2. So actually I'm losing 2 electrons. +7, +2, I'm gaining 5. Common multiple 2 and 5 is 10. So put a 5 here, put a 10 here. Then put a 2 here, so put a 2 here and a 2 here. Now balance by inspection. Irons, 10 and 10, so we're good. Potassium's 2 and 2, we're good. Manganese is 2 and 2, we're good. Now comes the fun part. I've got 10 sulfurs and I've got 1 sulfur before. I'm going to cover up that number there. So it's 11. Come the other side. I have 2, 3 times 5, 15, so that's 17, 18. Now, I don't want to touch the 10 because that'll mess up my irons. So 10 from 18 leaves me with 8, so we put an 8 in front of the sulfuric acid. Now check our hydrogens, 16, so put an 8 over here. Lastly, check our oxygens, 10 times 4, that's 40, plus 2 times 4, that's 8, that's 48. 8 times 2 is 32, 32 and 48 is 80 oxygens. Then we have 4 times 2, 8 oxygens. 4 times 3 times 5, that's 60, so 68. 72 for the 4, and then 8 more, that's 80. Now, which one's losing? Losing is iron. Which one's gaining and reducing? That's manganese. Oxidizing agent, manganese. Reducing agent, iron. All right, hopefully not too bad. Next process we're going to look at is called half reaction. That's another way of doing balancing of electrochemistry or oxidation reduction reactions. So the way we do this, it's a means of balancing oxidation reduction reactions by only dealing with those substances that take part in the reaction. What we're going to do is remove what we call spectator ions. Now, exactly what are spectator ions? These are reactions where the ions don't do anything. They're ions before, they're ions. Let's do a simple example. Silver nitrate with sodium chloride. I've showed you that during Chem 1. Both of these are soluble in water, so we dissociate them. That's the reaction. We take silver nitrate, dissociate to silver and nitrate ion. Sodium chloride dissociates sodium and chloride. Silver nitrate is not soluble, so it remains together, but sodium nitrate is soluble, so it dissociates. So with that white product, we have silver nitrate. So what we have that's on both sides, the sodiums are gone, the nitrates are gone. All we're left with is a silver ion plus chloride ion gives us silver chloride. That's a net ionic equation, removing the spectator ions. All right, so very good. Let's take an example one. Now, before we do that, here's the steps in the process. So understand, number 1, we divide the reaction into 2 halves. So we take the 1 half and the other half and do them separately. Balance the non-hydrogen or oxygen elements. Then we balance oxygen by adding water. Balance hydrogen by adding H+, hydrogen ion. Balance the charge by adding electrons. Add the reactions. We're going to get them equal to each other. Subtract substances as possible, and then work out from there. So those are our steps in half reactions. Let's take a look at one. So we have permanganate, MnO4, plus C2O42 minus, yields to give us Mn2 plus manganese ion and carbon dioxide. So we're going to split it to its 2 parts. So we're going to have the permanganate going to manganese ion, and C2O4 2 minus going to CO2. Now, first thing to do is balance it. Manganese is fine. Carbon, I have 2, I have 1, so I'm going to put a 2 here. And actually, on that side, it takes care of the oxygens, so that one's good. Going back over here, now we're going to take care of our oxygens. We're going to add water, so I'm going to have to add 4 waters to get my oxygens balanced. And then we have to do the hydrogens. Now I have 8 hydrogens, but 8 H pluses. Now let's take care of the charges. If I have 8 plus minus 1, that's 7. Over here I have 2, so we would have to add the 7 to get 2. 5 negative, so that goes there. On this side, I've got 2 negative, I've got 0. So I'm going to add 2 electrons on that side. So put them underneath each other. I'm going to multiply the first one by 2, the second one by 5. When we multiply through, I end up with 10 electrons plus 16 hydrogen ion plus 2 permanganates gives me 2 Mn2 plus 8 waters. And the second reaction, I have 5 C2O4, 2 minuses, yields 10 CO2s plus 10 electrons. Cross out what's there, so the only thing that's on both sides is the 10 electrons. Everything else comes down. So the reaction is 16H plus 2 MnO4 minus plus 5 C2O4 2 minus gives me 10 CO2 plus 10 MnO2 plus 8 H2Os. Now there's a check to see if you've done this right. Add up all your charges. 16 plus minus 2 will give me 14 plus minus 10, that's plus 4. Over here, 2 times 2, that's 4. So it's plus 2 on both sides. So that's set up right. And understand, we express this as an acidic solution because the hydrogen ions. Now, we're going to do something later with the basic one. So let's try one more with the acidic. All right, so here we have dichromate, C2O4 2 minus plus chlorine ion gives me chromate 3 plus ion plus chlorine. So split that up to 2 sides. All right, so let's take care of the balance it up. So put a 2 there. Take care of over here, put a 2 there. All right, oxygens. So put, over here, we just got to take care of that one. That one's done now. I don't have to worry about that. So take care of oxygens. Put 7 H2Os. We're going to add 14 hydrogens to back the other side. Balance that up. Now charges. 14 plus, that's 12. Over here, I've got 3. So what do I add to 12 to get 6? Actually, it's 6, not 12, sorry. I add 6 electrons, put them underneath the side. I'm going to multiply this one by 3. So when I add them down, the electrons cross out. And that's my reaction. Quick check. 14 minus 2 is 12, minus is 6. 2 times 3 is 6. It's plus 6 on both sides. This, again, is an acidic reaction. Now, I said acidic reaction because we do have a different process. It's called being basic. If we have what's called a basic solution, instead of replacing with hydrogen ion, we're going to replace with waters and then hydroxide. Let me show you what I'm talking about. In this reaction, we're going to split it as such. Cyanide goes to, I believe that's hypocyanate, and then we have permanganate going to manganese 4 oxide. All right, so all my carbon, nitrogens, and manganese are fine. So the next thing we're going to do is our oxygens. So we're going to balance the first one by adding H2O. And over here, we're going to add 2 H2O to balance that up. Now, usually we'd add hydrogen ion, but what we're going to do is going to add water. So how many hydrogens do I have? I have 2 hydrogens. So over here, I'm going to add 2 waters. And to balance that out, we'll make water HOH. So I have 2 HOHs. I have to have 2 H's on the other side. Over here, I add 4 H2Os to balance up. 2 H2Os to balance up my oxygens. So we'll put 4 H2Os on the other side, and then 4 hydroxides to balance the back side of that now. -2 plus 1 is -3, -1. So I add 2 electrons over there. -1, -4. So I'm going to add 3 electrons over here, put them underneath each other. I'm going to multiply the top one by 3 and the bottom one by 2. When we do, we get that reaction there. Now, what crosses out? The electrons cross out first on both sides. Okay, hydroxides. I have 6 and I have 8, so I'm going to lose all of my hydroxides on the left and all but 2 on the right there. And then waters, I have 8 plus 3, which is 11. 6 plus 4 is 10, so we only do 1 water in it. Bring it all down. We end up with H2O plus 3Cn minus plus 2 MnO4 minus gives me 2 MnO2 plus 3 CnO minus plus 2 OH minus. If we do our charges, we end up with -5 on both sides. That's cool. All right, one last one. Do this on your own. We are going to do a basic solution. So pause the video, work through that. Remember, any question, ltslvpd@gmail.com. Like, subscribe, share, let people know about it. Just help others out. Any questions, let me know. All right, here we go. All the work right there. So we end up with that final reaction in a -12 or 12 minus on both sides. All right, very good. Hopefully not too bad. Take care. God bless. Bye.